All right. Well, hello everybody. It is 6:30 on Tuesday, which means it's time for another episode of Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And I am sitting here trying to punch out all the little niblets in this die that I use for our card. You know, it makes the greatest little background, but you do, have to come back and punch out these little holes. And I'm trying to get it to the point where I can use it again here in a minute to show you. Now, this was April's product of the month. So I got to add it to my cart for $5 when my cart was $75 or more. So this little thing is exclusive and it only costs $5 with a $75 order. So if a $75 order is something that you normally do, then why wouldn't you just go ahead and add this little thing to your cart for $5 more? $5 little dollars, as my friend Molly used to say. All right. Hold on one second. I really don't think anybody's here yet. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and go on and get rid of all these little things here. And I'm going to set this over here. We're going to use it in just a minute. So yeah, my name is Manny Rios. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And tonight I'm going to make a brand new card. Well, it is a brand new card using brand new products from the brand new May to August catalog, which went live today. Let's see if I can straighten this up a little bit. I think I probably went the wrong way. Somebody hopped on. Who was it? It is Anita. Hi, Anita. Glad to see you. So yeah, I think I did go the wrong way. So hold on. Let me see if I can go this way. Probably did it too much now. I'm just trying to get my camera straight. Oh, that's a little better. Oh, I like that. All right. So that's good. So as I was saying, this catalog, the May to August catalog, went live today. So you can start ordering from this catalog today. And if you are a demonstrator, we've been able to order from it for about a month. And I forgot to look to see where this stamp set is. So give me a second. I'm going to look it up real quick. Boutique Blossoms 59. So, that's just the dies. I want the stamps. Uh, 46. So I am going to be showing you this stamp set right here. And I wish it would have told me where we have the ideas. It's in here somewhere. I'm such a good demonstrator, aren't I? Here it is. So you can find this super bundle on pages 16, 17, and so there's like two stamp sets and two die sets in the Suite collection, and we're going to be mainly using the Boutique Blossoms. Is it boutique or is it boutique? You know, I never know. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Susan. All right, so I do have that in my hot little hands right here. So here is the Boutique Blossoms stamp set. So you can see we have a stamp that is line art, and then we have one that is the distinctive stamp. And you've got two main flowers here, and then you've got some leaves and some little buds and a single leaf and some smaller flowers and a little design stamp. And then you have these coordinating dies to go along with it. And so this is the main bundle that we're going to be using today, Boutique Blossoms. And then we're also going to be using, now this is another great bundle called Fern and Flora, and I've seen some amazing cards with it, and I'm going to be featuring this in my May class, which is full, by the way, friends. So thank you for that. But I'm going to be making one of our cards in the May class with this. But today we're going to just be using this sentiment, and then we're going to be using this die. But look at these amazing dies in this set. Again, that is called Fern and Flora. But we're just going to be using a sentiment and that sentiment strip die. And then also, we're going to be using this Eyelet Blooms die, which I told you if you logged on really early, that this was April's product of the month. I must have put it in wrong, or, oh no, I set it to the side. So here's what it looks like. It just makes the most amazing die cut. And we're going to be using it as our background element, and it's just perfect for that. And this costs $5 with a $75 order. So if, like I was saying earlier, if you are the kind of person that typically places at least a $75 order, then go ahead and add this to your cart for $5 more. I mean, you want this. You'll see that in just a second. Oh, I don't want to put it away because I'm going to use it. And also today they released a brand new product of the month for May, and I forgot to print off any information about that, but it is vellum, a set of vellum sheets that are textured and designed. So really cool. And again, it's $5 with a $75 order. All right. So let's take a little look at the card we're going to be making today. I saw this by a designer. I was scouring Instagram, and I found this card, and I thought it was so pretty, and it uses like that Boutique Blossoms die set, you know, all the stuff I've talked about already. Look at that background. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but this little background from that die, it's just amazing in person. It's just the perfect detail in the background. And we're using the brand new in color called, what's it called? Barely Blush. Now, here is the ink pad, and we'll talk about this ink pad here in a minute. This is a light pink. Very, very light. Okay, Elizabeth, yes, I will put... Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Jane. Anyway, I was telling you how light it is. So today I'm going to be stamping it multiple times to get some color on it, and you'll see why here in a minute. But this is distinctive stamping, so all that detail that you see in here, all happens just with a stamp. I didn't have to do anything extra to get the detail in those flowers or the leaves. You can see the detail in the leaves as well. That's called the distinctive stamp set. And then we're going to be using some pearls that I colored with the Barely Blush Stampin' Blends. Okay? All right. Because I didn't have the new in color dots apparently. And then we've got this Barely Blush ribbon to go along with it. So using lots of new products. All right, I'm going to set that over there so I can kind of get some inspiration. I'm going to come over here to my box of goodies. And let's talk about these pieces. Let me just kind of get these organized. And guys, I've been away for a while. And so I just want to apologize for that. I'm so happy to be back. We took a vacation, went on a cruise. I got a little sun, which is exactly what I needed. But now we're back. And you know how it is after you haven't done things for a while. I'm going to be all discombobulated tonight. Anyway. All right, so this is our standard card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, and we score on the 8.5 side at 4 1/4. All right, and this is, again, is the Barely Blush cardstock. Such a soft color. All right, now I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white that we're going to put to the inside. Once I grab my oh my goodness, where is it? All right, I'm going to grab my Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put this on the inside just to get it out of the way. And I think I cut some of my pieces. You can kind of see there's a rough edge here with a trimmer with a dull blade because I went to a crop and was supposed to be working on cards, card kits, and I did get one done. But anyway, I haven't unpacked everything, so my good trimmer, I didn't know there was a good one and a bad one. My good trimmer is packed away, but I thought I would show you this anyway. Thought about recutting it. But anytime you get a rough edge like that because your trimmer is dull, I've got a little sanding block here. I just go along the edges there, and then no one would ever know that I used a dull blade. So there's a trick for you. All right, and I'm going to have to do it on this piece too, I see. So there's this rough edge here, and I'm just going to take my sanding block and go along the edges here to get rid of that fringe. Now, sometimes we take our scissors and we create a fringe, right? So if I had left this like that, I could have claimed that. But I kind of want a nice clean look. So here is a piece of Barely Blush that is 4 by 5 1/4, another matte. And I would call this a luxury matte. Anytime you add a matte, or this is my rule, or my invention, my word, I call anytime you put a color on the same color a luxury layer. Because, you wouldn't really have to do it it just adds a little, sophisticated detail to your card. And I call that a luxury layer. It's very difficult to see when you've got it straight. So hopefully I got it straight there. So there we've got a Barely Blush matte on a Barely Blush card base. Sometimes when I start these lives, my camera is zoomed way in where you barely can see all of my glass mat here. And sometimes when I start it, we're zoomed way out where you can see everything, my mess and everything. But anyway, so hopefully I will remember to hold things up. Oh, thanks, Liz. All right, what do we want to do now? Okay. I have this piece that I'm going to use the die cut machine on. Hold on one second. Don't want to lose any of these pieces, so I'm putting them back over there. All right, so here's another luxury layer that's going to be behind our die cut piece, and it is 4.5 by 3 1/4. And it's going to go here, but I don't want to adhere it quite yet because I want to adhere the die cut piece on here first. So that's the size of that. And then I'm going to die cut this and then trim this to this size. So I'm going to move this over here, kind of get things out of my way so I can bring over my cut and emboss machine. Now, what's really cool about this die, again, it was the product of the month for April, and I believe it's still available. What's cool about it is bigger than the matte size. It's a pretty big die, and so that means it's easy to trim down to whatever size you need. Sometimes you need a larger size, and sometimes you don't. All right, so what did I do with this? Okay, here's my piece of paper. It's bigger than I need, but I'm going to die cut it. And then trim it. And this is probably going to cause some shaky, so sorry about that. There's the shaky. And I was talking earlier because I kind of went on, a couple minutes early just to see if I was, broadcasting correctly. And anyway, I was talking to myself, pretending that you guys were here already. And now I forgot what I was telling you that this cuts out so great, but there's always those little bits, and sometimes you're going to have to poke them out here, and you're going to have to poke them out on your paper as well. And so I'm going to start doing that. And as I'm doing that, did anybody notice how cold it was today? I'm like, here, things had started to get so warm and everything. I should have done this ahead of time. But anyway, and then I walk out today in my shorts, and t-shirt, and it's cold. I had to go running back in and grab a jacket and stuff. right, I'm going to work on this, but let's go ahead and I'm going to work on that in just a minute. No, I kind of need to do it, I think. Let's see. Oh, I need to trim it. So one thing I'm going to do is trim it. Let me get my trimmer. And so I need to trim it to 4 3/8 by 3 1/8. Sorry. Here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is go 3 1/8 here. Three and an eighth. And then 4 3/8. All right, that'll be less poking out that I need to do. Move this out of the way. And that was my good trimmer, if you were asking, if you were wondering about it. I probably should have ran this a couple of times through. Sometimes the highly detailed dies you need to run back and forth. And it probably would have, some of these would have come out on their own. But you know what? We haven't been together for a bit, so. I don't know if any of you are on my Facebook page and saw my cruise pictures, but I did get to play pickleball on the ship, which was a big surprise because I didn't take any of my pickleball stuff, you know, because this is supposed to be for our 40th anniversary. My wife and I have been married for 40 years on April 5th of this year. And so we decided to actually go somewhere and do something. Anyway, I didn't know there was going to be pickleball on this ship. And I know that some of my pickleball friends have gone and said, oh, it's just rinky dink. You know, the court is not standard size. It's smaller and, you know, and there's wind and there's blah, blah, blah. And it's not that great. So I wasn't planning on playing pickleball. I didn't take any of my pickleball stuff. And anyway, the ship we went on, it was the Carnival Jubilee. It was an extra large ship. It was huge, and we got turned around every time we went out of our door. And anyway, so the pickleball court was a standard size, and we played at like 7:45 in the morning for a couple of hours. That's what that time they had scheduled. And there was, the sun wasn't really an issue. The wind really wasn't an issue. It did rain a couple times and they had to dry off the court before we could play. But that was about it. And some good players showed up. And it was so much fun. I had a blast. Almost done here. Oh, look, I can knock some out like that. All right, that's all I'm going to do. Let me wipe away these. All right, so now this is going to be a background for our card front. And it's going to mat onto this layer. That's why I call this a luxury layer. Let me grab my... What did I do with my... give me... why is nothing ever where it should be? Oh, here it is, right in front of my face. I'm looking for my fine tip glue gun that I got. And I'm just going to dot around on my card in strategic places where there are no holes. Hopefully. And I'm gonna layer this on top of that other layer. And just the tiniest little border will show. It's hard to get it straight. White on white. There we go. And I would say it's straight-ish. Straight enough for government work. Here we go. All right. So again, actually, I think you really do need this little luxury layer, this solid piece, because when you trim this down, you've got little irregular edges, and they don't show, draw your attention, I will say, like it would if you just had the die cut piece on it. All right, and now we're going to adhere this to our card front. Do any of you already have this, what's it called, eyelet blooms? Let me see, it's called Eyelet Blooms, product of the month die from last month. And even though we're past April, as long as they still have it in stock, they still sell it, of course. Hey, Evie. Hey, Yvette. Hey, Denise. Okay. Oh. Liz says she used a dryer sheet when she die cuts this, and it works wonderful for all the little holes on the die. Good, I'm going to try that. So I don't know if you can see, but we're starting to get very fancy with this card. This eyelet die is just amazing. I really, really like it. I'm so glad I got the product of the month. Oh, guys, what just became available today also are the shimmer pins, the in-color shimmer pins. You know Wink of Stella? Well, they have these shimmer pins now in the in-color colors that are available to order. I think they're $10. So I, of course, got one of each for the new in colors. But if you like Wink of Stella, you will like the new shimmer pins, I'm sure. All right, let's see. What do we need to do now? So now I think we need to do some stamping. So I've got a little something to show you. I'm going to bring over my stamping platform. I think that's what they call it. Do they call this the stamping platform? They call it something like that. It's brand new. Since we don't have the Stamparatus anymore, this is the a stamping positioner is what they call it now. Now I'm remembering. This is their new stamping positioner piece. So let me tell you what I've done. I have, first of all, created a template for my stamps. And so I took the die that cuts out the stamped image and put it on a piece of paper. We have a small one and we have a large one. And I created a template for me. And so what I did was I laid it down here. And this stamping positioner, one of the things I really like about it are these encased magnets that even though your magnets go together, it doesn't break them, and they're easy to get apart because they have these tabs on them. Also, the grid paper that comes, that it doesn't come with the positioner, but it's something you can buy. They have these little nubs here, and let me see if I can show you. The grid paper has holes in it along the top, and so that helps your grid paper stay in place and not move when you're using it. So as well as the magnets. Anyway, so I created this template, and then I laid it down. I got to get it the right way. I laid it down on my grid paper. And then I took the stamps and positioned them, fitted them in these openings here. And then what you do is you pick them up with your plate to get them on the plate. And then I position them, and then you pick them up with your plate, and then now they're in the right position on your plate. And what I did is I inked it up and I stamped it so I knew if this got moved for some reason, I could always put it back into place. And this will all make sense here in just a minute, I'm hoping. Oh, maybe is this right? Yeah, that's got to be right. Give me a second to get it all back into place. There we go. All right, so now that I've got that into place, just making sure. Okay, that's good. I keep on saying that's good, and then I keep moving it. Hold on one second. I'm being extra finicky about it, but I shouldn't have to be. All right, we're going to call that good. Now I'm going to put my magnet there and my magnet there. And then, my stamps are positioned right where they should be. So what I've got now is, and I just realized I didn't cut enough of this smaller piece. So I've die cut this, and this is a great tip if you're making multiples of a card. Normally we stamp and then we die cut. Here we've die cut first, and then we're going to stamp. Now when I position these little pieces into these openings here, I'm going to ink up my stamps and take a look at these brand new ink pad styles. They are magnetic, so they snap together really well. Very easy to open, not like those other ones. Very easy to open and close. I love this new style. I really do. All right. Now I'm going to ink up my stamps. And I told you guys that this is a very light color, right? So now I'm going to put this, got to make sure I'm in the right direction. I'm going to put this on. You've got little post here to put the plate on. And then you've got little holder things. And then you just press down to stamp. And I'm pressing well. And even though this came up, it's still going to be easy to stamp again because I have my template right there. So you can see how this is so light that I really do need to stamp it again. So I mean to ink it up and stamp it again. So I'm going to ink this up again. In fact, on my card, I did it 3 times. A lot of demonstrators have commented how pale this is. I'm not sure how everybody likes the ink being so pale. All right, I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to do something else to it. Let's see, did I put that away? Give me a second. Yes, I did. Just because I want a little bit of darker color, I am going to grab a dauber, and this is my bubble bath pink here, and I am just going to lightly daub some bubble bath on the center here. And really, it's all light enough that you can't really, it's not an obvious thing. Just a little bit of darker pink. You probably won't even be able to tell. And I also did notice that as it dries, the details in the flowers started to appear more. And I didn't realize that would happen, because I thought it was kind of blotchy when I first stamped it, and I was like, oh. All right. I am going to take that piece and that piece, and I forgot to die cut a second flower. So give me a second, I'm going to do that. Okay, give me a second, guys. I told you my first kind of week back doing this, I would be all kind of discombobulated. All right, watch this. Snap. So easy. All right, I need this die, and I need a die cut it from a white piece from that. Real quick. I'm going to do it off camera real quick. So I'm going to fit that piece in, and this time I'm only going to ink up that one flower. So you can see if you were making multiples of the same card design, like you do at Christmas time, how easy the Stampin' Positioner can make it. One more time. And then I'm going to add a little bit of bubble bath. Oops. Make sure it's in there. All right, we're going to call that good. Done with that. So the other thing that you need to stamp and die cut is 4 of these leaves. No, 5 of these leaves. And then there's also a die for this little leaf branch here, and you need 2 of those. So you need 2 of these small flowers, 1 of the large flowers, 5 of the leaves. And by the way, I stamped those in the new in color Peaceful Pine. Again, in the magnetic cases. You guys are going to love these new cases. And I stamped them. It's the distinctive, so it had the variation in the color there that you see. And I die cut those. So those are all the pieces that we need for our card. So let me find my card base again. Bring it back over. And we're going to, I'm going to first put on one of these white leaves. Oh, come on. It's going to go something like that. And then I'm going to angle this one the other direction. And I'm making the executive decision to move this one down further because on my example here, you can just barely see it down here. So I'm going to move it down a little bit further, hopefully to see that we can see more of it. All right, now I'm going to position my main flower, my big flower. I'm going to position it. And it's going to go like this. And I'm going to need to slide some things underneath it. So I'm only going to put one in the center there. There we go. And now we're going to take one of these flowers and it's going to slide in over here. So I'm going to put One right there, I think. Slide it in. Take one of my leaves. And it's going to go in here. Just trying to get my orientation right here. Okay, this is going to go in here like this. So I'm going to put that there. Slide it under here. This side gets a couple of leaves. And then these leaves come over here. I think I want this one to be the bottom one, so hold on. Okay, taking shape. And as this dries, you can see more and more detail of these flowers coming out. I don't know why that is, but it's the way it is. All right, now I need to grab my ribbon. And this is what caused me the most problems when I was putting together my my example. So this is the In Color Barely Blush bordered ribbon. Grab my scissors. When I was making my example, I made a bow, and it was, the designer that we're casing today is an Australian designer, and she just looped it back and forth, the ribbon, you know, which I've seen a million people do. And it looks easy, and it gave me the hardest time. And I made mine super big, and so I had to pull everything apart and try again. So then I decided, if I figured out the size I liked, that I could maybe make it easier. And I can always trim off the extra ends that I don't need, as long as the loops are where I want them. So I'm going to get a glue dot here, and I'm going to place it kind of where I think I need it to be. I think it needs to go something like this. And don't worry, I'm going to trim the ends. And I know there are several of you out there that are like, Manny, you're making this super hard. I know. I always do. I always do. I need one more dot. All right, I will trim those ends now. And hopefully this looks the way we want it to look when we get our sentiment strip on there. So this is going to fit right about here. Hold on. There we go. There, that looks pretty good. Dots, which is, so that's a really good thing to do if you don't have the exact color that you're looking for. Like I don't have any Barely Blush bling right now yet. And so, but I do have this marker and I do have these pearls, and I can just add a little bit of color here to these and they should match perfectly. So now I am going to put one here. Put one here. Put one here. Let me move some things out of the way. So, oh, things are falling. Oh, look, I got a special little thing on my finger. See if I can get it back over there. All right, so that is tonight's card. It is using, hold on, this Boutique Blossoms bundle. And we have just made the prettiest, softest, beautiful little card to let somebody know that you're thinking of them, that you're thankful for them, for their help, or just for being there. And this, I guarantee you, will make someone's day if you send it to them. Now remember, oh, that's much better than I did over here. This one's mine, this one's yours. So remember, if you've commented during tonight's video that your name goes into a drawing to win this card. And if you've shared tonight's video, then your name will go in twice. And oh, Denise says she's loving all the pinks. You're a pink girl, huh, Denise? No, not on YouTube tonight. I am going to try and do that next time. I just didn't have enough time to try and figure everything out again. So just on Facebook tonight. But I will download this video when I'm done here, and I will upload it to YouTube I will upload it to YouTube after we're done. So it will still be there if you ever want to refer back to it. Well, guys, I'm so glad to be back crafting with you. I am thankful for you guys being here. And I'm going to clean up a little bit here. I'm going to look through the comments, answer any questions that you might have, and then I will do the drawing for this beautiful card that someone's going to get. All right? Thanks, friends, and I'll see you soon. Bye.